Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to show you how I'm getting about one deal a week right now, calling for rent by owners, one of my favorite categories to sell. A lot of these for rent by owners are tired landlords and they have multiple properties. That's what I find. So I've got a couple where I called them and asked if they would get passive income instead of landlording by me actually buying to where they didn't have to deal with the tenant, the maintenance, taxes, insurance, all the crap that comes around with being a landlord. And what I find is they usually give you one, the ones that are interested. And again, I probably have to talk to 30 landlords to get one that would sell on creative finance. But once I do, and they give you one usually, and if it goes smooth, which it usually does, because selling on terms is so much simpler than selling on the traditional method, especially now when we're in a high interest rate market, that it actually, they want to sell multiple properties. So definitely a good category to call. I've made my name and got most of my deals calling canceled and expired listings, but I sprinkle in for rent by owners. It's a different pitch than canceled expired. You're calling and you want to hit on passive income, not having to deal with tenants and landlord, selling their price at better than market rate, because you can buy properties this way, and if you buy at a lower payment, their interest rate, or they'll do seller finance to you, it's going to be much more affordable than buying the traditional method, which means you can't buy as a rental property when you buy the traditional way because interest rates are too high, unless you're paying a really large amount down payment to get your payment lower. Buying creative is way better in my opinion. So this is a way not only to get deals for yourself, but to also do assignments and sell properties to your friends and partners that you're doing deals with and make a little money on the side, and also help the landlord out. Screens in order, what I pull up when I'm doing these dials. My dialer is Vulcan7. I don't know, I can't remember if you have to pay for the for rent by owner data or it just comes with the license, but I think it's totally worth it. Next to me, since you're doing for rent by owners instead of canceled and expired, I have access to MLS, but for rent by owners, I pull up Zillow, because then you can just see if it's an active rental, how many days it's been on, how many people have looked at it, all the information you want. Next to that, I have my CRM, which I use Follow Up Boss. Then I have an activity tracker because I want to know if I'm calling canceled, expireds versus Furbo, which one is getting me more results. So I'll do that. When I'm in Vulcan, my dialer, I do an advanced search and I look by the Furbo folder. And then within that, because there's so many rentals that come in, I'm in the Phoenix market, there's so many opportunities to call landlords. I search that by my favorite areas, which I'm in Chandler, Arizona. So I start in Chandler, but I also look at Gilbert and Mesa, Queen Creek and Tempe, and other markets where I want to acquire rental property. So it's very lucrative doing this if you do it, if you dedicate yourself and do follow up and work on your script and your message. You'll hear me follow somewhat of a script today, but I've done it so much that I just I shoot straight. These are landlords, they're savvy, they're investors. You don't really need to really script them too much. You can just be straight and more to the point on getting passive income, and sometimes they'll go for it, most times they won't. But if you do enough calls, you will definitely get some. So I'm gonna fire up my dialer here. I would like to share my screen with you guys, but I know, there's some sensitive data on here that, don't want to share and put on things like YouTube just because, all right, this can go out to the world. So what I'm doing is pulling the address from Vulcan and I pull it up on Zillow, and then I give them a call.
Hi, this is Brenda Crocco with the Barrett Group. Please leave me your name and number and I'll give you a call back just as soon as possible. Thank you.
The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages at this time. Goodbye.
We'll shoot her a text. I follow up most of my calls with text. So I'll make calls for 15 minutes and then I'll follow up with text after that for 15 minutes. I usually try to go an hour, but my time block got moved a little bit because my first one went really long today. She sounded like she was probably an agent, I'm guessing. So even more with agents, like don't stray away from them. Don't worry about calling. Like I'm a buyer. I'm calling you as a buyer, which agents like. You just want to be very to the point because they know what a lot of them know what terms or have heard of terms, so you can just shoot them straight. If you're trying to hide what we're doing or why we're buying this way, usually those calls don't go well. So when an agent picks up, you can definitely just be straight to the point. And then when I'm calling Furbo, I pause and preview the dials because I want to take time and put it into Zillow and just get a little information on the property. You can check MLS too. This one's listed on MLS, so I'm gonna skip that number. That's actually the agent's number. I'm gonna try to talk to the seller.
Hello, you reached Mike with East Valley Golf Carts. Leave me a message and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you. You can also email at mike@eastvalleygolfcarts.com. Thanks and have a good day.
Hey Mike, this is Andrew. I live not too far from you. It hung up. I don't know what's up with that. His voicemail was short.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
So the reason I'm pausing here for a second and calling the second number, I was actually I have it set up to where I send an email for anybody who I hit the not contacted button in my dialer, an email will go to them. In this case, it's very similar to what I'm gonna say if he picks up or how I'll leave a voicemail, which is, hey, it's Andrew. I'm a landlord in the area. I'm looking for a rental property, and I saw your property listed as a rental. I was curious if you would sell it and get passive income that way opposed to landlording it. That's it. That's what the email says too. And some of them will call you back. Most of them won't. But I'm also marking his name so I know it's him. So when I shoot him a text, when I follow up after these calls, that I have the phone number that he actually is, and it helps me preserve my time better. I wonder why my email isn't sending. That's weird. I usually watch my email count on my dialer, and you'll see it tick up every time you hit the non-contacted when you have an email. Maybe it's because I input his email to what he said in his voicemail. I love searching that there's enough rentals for me to call in my area, and I'll never run out of them. A lot of times in Zillow, it'll have a Zillow number, which you don't want. You want to get their personal if you can. That's probably his personal, I'm guessing, because it didn't have the Zillow automated response that you'll hear.
Your call has forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. Is not available.
I don't know. In Zillow, it has that first number, so I'm just going to leave both the numbers and text them both. Oh, he's calling me back. I think he's calling me back. No, that's from I think that was that agent from the last one. Sometimes, especially when there's a unit number, you have to tinker with Zillow a little bit to pull the property up. Oh, this one's nice. I'm glad I did that.
This call may be recorded.
The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message.
Hello?
Hey, Deborah.
Yes?
Hey, this is Andrew. I'm a landlord here in Chandler. And the reason I'm calling is I saw I think it's your townhome on Catherine Drive for rent. Is that yours?
No. I sold it.
Oh, you sold it. Okay, got it. Sorry for the miscommunication. I think I have a number here for the buyer on it, so I'll try
Yeah.
him. I was just curious about
Okay.
getting it. Thank you for your time. Thanks, Deborah.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, sometimes you'll get bad data. So she wasn't the agent who sold it. She was actually the seller. I should have asked her if she had any more properties. So I will keep her number and I'll follow up with her because I'm guessing she either, it might have been a rental property. A lot of times the townhomes are. But I do have a good number for him. I will text him. And I'm going to remove her email so she doesn't get emailed. Actually, that would be perfect to follow up with her on. Let's keep that. Definitely Furbos. I know we're not getting a lot of pickups today, but they do usually have a better pickup rate than canceled expireds. Canceled expireds are the toughest because when they go off market, you probably have like in Phoenix, probably like 30 or 40 agents calling them to try to list them. So, it's a little different when you're calling to buy, but still they go into withdrawal and they go into hiding when you have about 30 people calling you in a morning. Anybody would.
Hello?
Hey, Ronald?
Yes.
Hey, Andrew here. I'm a landlord in Chandler, not too far from you. I think were you renting out a property on Edgewater Drive, right in Gilbert?
Yeah, it's going to be available March 1st, I believe.
Oh, got it. Okay, so pretty good time. Cool. I'm actually curious. I don't know if this would make sense in your situation, but I'm looking to buy a couple rentals in Gilbert, and I was just curious if you would take an offer on that, as opposed to landlording and getting passive income that way. If you sold it and got your price and got some cash in your pocket, and passive income that way as well without landlording.
You mean talking about you would want to purchase the property?
Yeah, I'm buying properties right now where I'm wrapping them. I don't know if you've ever sold or bought on a mortgage wrap, but essentially, for you as the seller, you'd get a higher selling price. And then the reason it works for me is because my interest rate and payments are lower, so I can keep them as a rental. So I don't know if something like that would make sense for you if you got some cash in your pocket up front and then passive income from there until I refinance or sell it.
Well, that could be a possibility. I mean, I'm definitely open to looking at offers.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm not really price conscious. So, like, if we looked at the comps in your area, we picked out a price, like, I don't mind overpaying a little bit because, I know there's a trade-off, right, of buying and having my payment less where I can afford it. And I plan on holding most of my properties, like, at least 7 to 10 years. So that's why I'm able to do that. Get you, a nice price for the property and some built-in equity for you.
Okay, if you're interested, I have another property, it's going to be, the lease is up, I think, this month also, and then I'm either going to probably go month to month with that because the person is trying to get into graduate school, and if she gets in it, she's going to be leaving town.
Mm-hmm.
But I have flexibility on that, and I can give you the address of that if you want to.
Where is it? Is it in Gilbert as well?
No, but it's in more like Central Phoenix, like near 2nd Avenue and Bell Road.
2nd Ave, so Central and Bell, so like North Central?
Yeah.
Phoenix? Okay.
I don't know if that's too far out of your range or not.
Yeah, no, I buy deals wherever. I mean, I like Chandler and Gilbert for obvious reasons, right? I live here, but also just all the development in Queen Creek as well. But, like, I do like properties in more central areas too. It's like, as long as the numbers work, right? If I can make the numbers work to where I'm not bleeding on it, I don't care where the property is. Because like I said, I'm looking to build my portfolio and hold these for a long period of time until they double in value,
Right. Well, I can give you the address for that one too if you're interested.
Yeah, what is it?
It's 17410 North 2nd Avenue, and that's Phoenix, and the zip is 85023.
Cool.
And
Is it?
Sometimes though, it seems like when you put that address on the internet, though, it doesn't always come up with the right house.
Interesting.
It's sort of weird. But I mean, like, I'd have to see it and say, yeah, it is the right one. But hopefully it'll be the right one. But it used to be when I Googled that address, it's like, I don't even know.
Man, you're not trying to sell me some oceanfront property in Arizona, are you?
Well, I mean, it's like,
Just kidding.
that house is built in 95.
Yeah.
The house that would show up for was obviously one that was built in the 80s, You
Yeah.
can tell that dated one. So I'm thinking, how did you put that for my house, but it would get the same square footage and stuff, all right? But more, the stucco finish,
Yeah, this is 1312, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,300 square feet about.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I got it right here. I see you're the owner, Ronald Lambert. Let me check some photos out. Oh, man. Wow. That looks great. When are these pictures from, 2022? This place looks phenomenal.
Yeah, I think so.
That's a good area.
Obviously, the thing about the townhouse in Gilbert is, it's on the lake, so it has a dock.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
And see, I originally bought it because I wanted it for a second house myself, and a boat came with it at the time, like the electric pontoon boat.
I just sold a house that way. Those are. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But before I got my offer in, a neighbor offered them $15,000 for that boat, and he sold it. So then it did no longer come with the house. So that was sort of a downer.
Oh, wow. Yeah. It's funny.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was just saying, like, I'm actually selling for somebody a house in North Scottsdale that has a big boat like that on the back. They all have, not the whole neighborhood has docks, but people go crazy for those. A little water in Arizona. Like, if you could walk out and have a little boat out there, man, people, because I thought we priced it kind of high, and people still went nuts for it.
Yeah, and the thing is, I did, at the time, at least 2 years ago, it was hard to find a used boat for sale, especially at a reasonable price, because I didn't want to buy a brand new one because it's just going to sit out in the sun right away. And I figured I just wanted, a nice used one. And I could never find one. Because it also had to be 16 feet. That was the maximum for that lake. And, I could find, 20, 24 footers, but no electric 16 footers. But yeah, I really, love that townhouse, but I just decided I didn't need too many primary residences, and I should rent it out.
Yeah.
So that's why I rent.
Do you have a decent, I mean, you got a couple rentals, like what, are they just rentals for you, or do you I was just curious why you're even considering selling these. They're in both in good areas.
Well, I'm not really. I like owning more like businesses. I don't really, particularly want to be in the real estate business.
I hear
just
you.
Happen to say I bought that house in the islands as a personal residence, additional one. The one on Second Avenue, I did buy that probably 20 years ago as a rental. But like for at least 10 years, my daughter and her husband rented it from me. And so like when I have, properties, for family or stuff like that, that's fine. But then, eventually she moved to Anthem and rents another house for me in Anthem. So it has phenomenal tenants in right now, but I just feel like it might be a gamble, I guess it's like, I'd rather focus on my businesses than being a landlord. But, when I have great tenants, it's not, not much work, obviously, to be a landlord then. But so because of this, my current tenant, looking to probably, go to graduate school, if she's going to do that, then I may prefer to sell it versus rent it out again.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, and that's why I make calls like this, because I'm looking to build my rental portfolio, but it's really hard with interest rates the way they are. But
yeah.
There's a lot of people out there, and I'm one of them, that I want the passive income of real estate and the wealth building, but I hate being a landlord. I hate having to deal with the properties all the times, because it does take a lot of work and your focus, and it's hard work being a landlord, right? But there's a lot of people out there that have equity, and they and I've done this too, where I want to put my equity and just get payments on it. I want true mailbox money that shows up every single month, and I don't have to worry about all the other stuff with the property.
Right.
Cool. Well,
you showed up at spam. So I don't think I have your number. But if you want to text me, maybe text me your name again and your phone number information, and then I'll put it in my phone so I'll know if you call or text back. That it's you then.
Yeah, I'll text you. Thanks for sharing that. I make a lot of calls, and I think after like a certain amount, it starts, putting you that way. But I guess I'll have to figure that out, like register my number or something like that. But I'll shoot you a text from my cell phone. And what's your best email? I'll send you an email as well.
RonStrong2100 at gmail.com.
At gmail.com. RonStrong.
Right.
2100 at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'm Andrew. I like both of these, but certainly, man, the islands. Oh, I love that area. Yeah, and it's right on the water. If you're willing to do something there, I'll make sure you make it worth your time.
And the thing is, the islands is 1 hour from my house in Anthem, so that was another sort of drawback to me, for going back and forth.
Yeah.
I love Anthem. I love Anthem because it's phenomenal to ride the bike. But I wanted the islands because I wanted to get into kayaking and rowing,
Yeah.
And I just never, and partly when I wanted that electric boat, but then when I couldn't get the boat, I sort of thought, gosh, it's so hard for that I sort of lost interest in trying to get a kayak or a rowboat. And so, like I said, that's why I said, well, I had 3 houses, so I should put one of them. I mean, I was living in 3 different places, so I should put this up for rent.
Yeah.
So, but I did like some at night want to be there at nighttime, and I look out that window and all those lights on the lake reflecting. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty highly sought after neighborhood. I get that for sure. Same thing. And it's 10 minutes from me, and I got a couple other properties like closer to downtown Gilbert. So that's my focus, is building around here. But like I said, if I can get the numbers to work, I'll buy anywhere. But I'm definitely preferential to this side of town, like you like up north or stay close. I'm the same way. If I can be to any one of them within 15 minutes, that's an ideal situation for me. But cool.
Well, nice talking to you, Andrew.
You too, Ron. I appreciate it. I'll shoot you a text real quick, and then I'll send you an email a little bit later. And if we can start putting some numbers together that might work, I'll make it worth your time. I definitely don't care about price, so I'd build you in some equity. I'd love to maybe continue the conversation if it makes sense for both of us.
Sure. Definitely.
All right. Thanks, Ron. Appreciate it. Good talking to you.
You too, Andrew. Bye.
See ya. That's a double lead. That's why I love Furbos, and canceled expires are this way sometime too. But you know, I called on one property and right away he's got two that I'm going to be looking at. So as far as what he said on my phone number, spam, that is a concern. You definitely want to within Vulcan register your phone number. So maybe I just did it too quick. I probably started making dials before I registered my number, and you can get marked as spam pretty quick. So luckily there's numbers available in Vulcan you can change. So what I'm gonna do is just keep the number I have for a few days, but I'm also gonna go register a new phone number and let it register, go through that process. Maybe next week I'll use that other phone number. Cause again, you just wanna, it's hard to get people to pick up, right? Already dialing. So you wanna increase your odds the most you can. But that's a good lead. I'm on a roll this week. I probably have like 5 leads in the last 3 days. I try to get 1 lead a day. Statistically, now I'm tracking my KPIs. If I can get 6.5 leads, that will turn into a deal. And what do I consider a lead? A lead somebody who wants to stay in connection. I've had a conversation with them about, you know, how I make payments or low interest rate, or I don't talk about creative finance, but I try to get them to know that, hey, we're going to give you some money up front and then we'll make payments for a while. We'll take over liens. And if they'll acknowledge that and they still want to stay in touch, that's usually when I count a lead. So for this, because there's 2 properties, I'll count this as 2 leads. But yeah, certainly try to get one every single day. Keep it up. If you have questions, my contact info is in the description below. If you're looking to get set up with a dialer, do canceled expireds, or like I'm doing today, a Furbo, and maybe just need a little help putting the pieces together from the beginning to where you're lead generating, to following up with those leads, to move them along your funnel, to actually get them to an agreement to where you're either buying it or assigning it to one of your friends or partners, reach out to me. I'm going to be doing a lot more content like this, a lot more calls, because I think that's helping me talk to sellers, is what is helping members of my team. If you're interested in joining a team, also reach out. You know, I'm going to be looking at adding people in some different markets throughout the country, doing the model I've done where I've only been doing this since about September of last year. I didn't really see results till November of last year. It took me 2 or 3 hard months of making calls and not seeing results until something just clicked in my head to where I got a deal done. I got a second deal done, and then haven't looked back from then. I'm doing about a deal a week right now. And that's with including coaching others too. That's not counting their deals. This is counting just my deals, but also splitting my time, bringing on the next wave of people that are doing exactly what I'm doing, following the process and systems, scripts, everything that I'm using to really rock my business. Reach out, or if you just want to buy a deal, you want to sell a deal or buy a deal, I'd love to talk to you too. You can find all of that in the description below, and I will see you on the next video.